out.
I mean, you can do both, you know?
Yeah.
You're a
Watch a little.
multitask. You're a multitasker. Right, so, okay, start whenever. Okay. So, welcome to I think it's the 8th special edition of the talk show, where we bring you guests from the Fnatic organization, players, staff, whoever, give you insight into the org and whatnot. Um, Last week we had the FIFA team, as well as their manager Colin, last Wednesday. Sadly, I think Poacher got knocked out of the tournament over the weekend. He went 1-4, poor guy. But maybe get him next time. So you can catch that episode on our YouTube channel, Fnatic Discord, over in the next few days. You're probably bored of hearing this by now, but I am Loki, your host for this evening. Nothing special here. But my guest this evening is a World Championship finalist. Never had one on this show before. A DreamHack winner, Paladins Masters winner. He is Gerrah, the Master Support from our Paladins team. Welcome to the show, Gerrah.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for introducing me.
I thought I'd give you a special introduction.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's good.
Befitting of a finalist, you know? So, you were just telling me before we started that you've been watching Game of Thrones. So, you're about 4 seasons in. Tell me
No,
who
I'm
you.
not that far in. I don't know how many seasons there are. I'm still like, I think season 2-ish now.
Oh, that's really early.
So
Do you have any?
I'm early.
Do you have any favorite characters?
I like the Dragon Lady.
The Dragon Lady, huh? Is it because you like to look at her, or you like her character?
Her character is good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she has dragons.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. She's pretty cool. I think she's everyone's favorite. Do you think do you have it has it been spoiled for you? Because I know that some people that watch Game of Thrones they
I know
tell
some
people
stuff, yeah. But I
yeah,
probably shouldn't know.
yeah, some people they're like, "Oh, I started watching Game of Thrones," and then they start asking you all these questions, which then spoil the entire thing, which kind of ruins it. But you know, it happens.
Um, don't go on the internet if you don't want to get spoiled, basically. But it's
Oh, it's absolutely the worst when you're watching it as it gets released because
yeah, then it's everywhere.
it's absolutely everywhere. It's in the morning newspaper. It's all over the front page of the internet. It's all over whatever site you use. I guarantee it. Facebook, whatever, it's there. So you have to like go dark until you watch it. It's insane.
Wait 2 years and then watch it, because then you maybe forgot half of the stuff, and then easy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why they gave us a 2-year break, a break from all the checking and whatnot. So I typically start these shows with an opener. It tends to be a really boring response or a really interesting one. So, Gerrah, how did you get your name?
I got it like when there was a football final between Liverpool and Milan, and Liverpool was like 3-0 behind, and then Steven Gerrard got Liverpool on his back and carried them to the victory.
Jesus Christ, you're a Liverpool fan.
Yep. Well, I liked it more back in the days, as now I stopped really caring about football, but that's how I got my name.
That makes sense now. Gerrah, I get it.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be something else, you know. I didn't know what, like maybe after a giraffe or something. Just, I don't know. But Gerrah, okay, that's really sad. I'm a United fan, you see, so
I see.
I'm really, really considering whether I want to keep doing this. Like,
Now you just want to, okay, this is over, bye.
do I want to like? It's like I'm out. Yeah, fuck this. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to interview Liverpool fans. You know, I actually had to interview a Chelsea fan last week as well.
That's bad.
Poacher in the FIFA team. Yeah.
They go from Liverpool up to Chelsea to Liverpool.
Yeah, it gets. My guests are getting worse in terms of football team preferences. Next thing you know, I'm going to be interviewing a Manchester City fan, and I'll just quit right there.
You may as well fucking stop before that.
Yeah, I'll just take a break. I need like mental therapy, you know, just go into a psychiatrist's office and be like, yeah, I interviewed a Liverpool fan. It's really traumatic. So, you watch football then?
Not really anymore. Just don't have time.
Oh, I
I
see.
watch like Champions League finals and stuff, but not like daily.
So just catch the big games when you can, really.
Yeah, just the big ones when people win trophies.
So you probably play a lot of, professional games, right? But what was the first ever game that you played professionally? It was probably not in Paladins, right?
No, I've played. I originally came from the Battlefield series. So I played like Battlefield 2042 was like my first game I played where I went to LANs with, where I played for TCM Gaming. Then I played a little bit of Brink. Brink was like one LAN, like one Gamescoms, and that's it. What else did I play? Played a little bit of CSGO early. I just couldn't keep up with it. It was just too much fucking playing, and I didn't enjoy the game that much. I like to watch it, but I don't like playing it because all you do is the same thing over and over and over again.
So you kind of like a bit of like a bit of variety in your shooters rather than the sort of formulaic parts of CS:GO.
Yeah, like I just play the games what I enjoy at that moment, and where if I enjoy it, I play it basically.
So what actually got you into FPS and shooters in general?
I don't know. I just like to win, I guess, and you can make the most plays in a shooting game.
Do you feel like you kind of have this understanding of what you need to do to be the best at a shooter game? Because obviously you've just listed a couple of games that you played competitively in.
I think mostly what you need to do is just put time in it and effort, and like get to understand the game like on a deeper level, and start to like study the enemies and what they like to do, like follow, like just see what they like to do, and then you can just counterplay it. At least that's what I do nowadays on Paladins. Just check what the enemy teams do, and then we just counterplay it.
So it's just kind of a mindset thing when going pro in some games. You just sort of have to have this understanding of what exactly you need to do, and then you'll basically get better over time, right?
Yeah, it's like the hardest thing is you need to put time in it, and it's like it's hard at the start, and then it gets easier over time. But if you don't get over the easy of the harder part, you will never get there.
Sounds like good advice. I mean, I'm going to try this out now. I'm just going to download Paladin straight away and see if I can get pro just by saying, you know what, I listened to Gerrah, put a bit of time in it, see how it goes. But
I mean, for some people, you need to put like a week in it, some months, and some years. It's just different for anyone.
it just comes to when you learn things and
Yeah.
how quickly you pick up things, right?
Yep.
How much of it for you was like your aiming and your mechanics and all that? Like, how much of that came into it for you when improving in these games?
I don't know. Like I always feel like I pick up games really fast, no matter if I switch to any game. But that's basically because I've played so many games over the years. Like I feel like I can pick up like any game to a decent level if I just put the time in it.
Is that just get all games in general? So
Yeah, all games in general.
so you're saying like you could start like League of Legends today and
Probably not League of Legends because it's like not an FPS. Like
right.
any like
Any
sort of
FPS.
FPS. Yeah.
Okay, so anything that involves a gun of some kind,
Yeah.
then you're all good.
Then I
So
should.
what would be your favorite shooter of all time then?
Favorite shooter probably like still Quake Live.
Uh-huh. What was it about that game that
And
was
just
your
you had the
favorite?
lightning gun. Like
It was
you literally could just jump around and like do 360s and fucking flick to people.
so it's just kind of being able to do flashy plays and this lightning gun is
Yeah, you had
just,
like you had to need to get the aim and the movement. Like you even could just get away if you had like insane movement, then you would still be really good in the game.
so do you think like no other game has sort of hit that level of fun for you?
I like Paladins as well, but it's like on a different level. It's more like tactical with like cards and counterplay. It's just a different type, but as like Quake Live, no, I don't think any game touches that type. But basically, all comes down to movement and aim.
Now, this is for the benefit of my co-host, who's taking a short break from the talk show, but he's recording the show right now. What are your thoughts on the Halo series?
I don't know. I never played Halo.
That's going to trigger him, but fair enough.
Sorry, I never played Halo. I've seen it, but I never played it.
So what got you into competitive gaming as a whole? Like, do you just decide, you know what, I wanna win stuff, or do you think like, hey,
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty good at this?
I just got into it because I was just playing in Battlefield 2042. I was just playing to get like a high rank for something, and I got asked for the team. Hey, do you want to join us for this clan-based match? And that's where it started. Like, hey, we can be number 1 on this ladder. Hey, we can be number 1 here. That's like basically what kept me started and like still going. Like, just want to win.
So what was it that drew you to Paladins? Because, you know, it seems like, see, I hadn't heard of the game until Fnatic picked up the team, right? So what was it for you? So how did you get into the game? Like, how did you hear about it, and what made you want to start it?
I think it was 2016 where Hyra said like, we have 100k for the Paladins tournament, and Paladins was close to Overwatch, but I couldn't get in the Overwatch closed beta. So I just tried Paladins instead and liked the game. So I just wanted to win the DreamHack tournament, what was 100k back then. And then, well, we won that.
So it's just like, it's kind of luck. In another life, maybe you would have been a pro in Overwatch instead.
If I had a closed beta key, I would have played Overwatch probably, yeah.
Do you ever think, what if I played Overwatch instead of Paladins?
I don't know, because if I play Overwatch now, I don't really enjoy the game that much.
So you're pretty lucky that you didn't get that beta key, because you might have been stuck playing a game that you don't like.
Yeah, I would probably have quit that game like in a few months, because I just didn't like. I play it now for like maybe a couple hours, but then I just get bored of it.
So what actually made you want to play support of all roles in competitive play?
Like I was first always a DPS. I've basically only switched like a year ago to support because the team needed the support play and nobody else really wanted it. And as a support in Paladins, you actually can like outplay the enemies and still like just 1v1. You can even like 1v1 a carry player just by your mechanical skill.
Do you think it's more fitting for you to play support instead of DPS?
In one way, yeah, because I like to I don't like to go anymore for the aggro plays lately. And as a support, I can more dictate the fight and tell my team what to do, like if they should rotate to the left or right or take control somewhere.
Do you think there's an element of personality that comes into this? Because some people think that, you know, people that are supportive in real life are more suited to playing support in games. What do you think about that?
Nah, not really. I don't think so.
You don't think so at all? It's just a stereotype?
No. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of lazy in like real life and stuff because I don't like to do that much outside playing. But I don't know. Just I don't think it has anything to do. Like if, like let's say a year ago, the team someone else decided to go to support instead of me, then I would probably play DPS now or tank or anything.
Are you one of the more flexible players? Would you say, since you've
Yeah, like I could go like I could flex to any support, like the aggro supports, the super defensive supports, or even if we needed, we could I could flex to some carry still. But you always need like a support in the team, so I'm basically always stuck on at least one support.
Do you think that out of your teammates, you're probably the most flexible in terms of play styles and champion pools and whatnot?
No, I am not the most flexible. There's someone else on my team, Buxy or even Fisherco. They could flex to anything basically.
But
well,
it's
not
just
anything, but like they could flex more to like a blaster and to a hit scan.
right.
And that's something I cannot do. I cannot go to a blaster.
So you're from the Netherlands. How is esports accepted out there? Like, what is it like for esports out there?
I don't think it's that accepted in Netherlands yet. Like people still think if people ask you like what do you do, and you say I play video games, and they look at you like what video games? You just do that for fun. That's not a job. Blah blah blah. And that's basically it. They just still don't accept it or understand what it is.
That's actually really interesting because I would have thought that it would have been more accepted because I remember, there was some events that League of Legends did in Rotterdam, I think it was. And, I know there's some Dutch pro players all over. So you would think that it's a bit more accepting than most countries. But
I
what
don't
did
know.
your
Like, I live in the east though, and Rotterdam is all the way on the other side of the country. So maybe that's part of it.
What did you think? What did your parents think or your family think of your decision to go pro?
They still think it's weird.
Do they not? Do you not just say like, "Well, look at this prize pool. Like, look at my bank account," sort of thing, and say
Not
like,
really. Yeah, like my dad accepts it and my mom accepts it kind of just because they know that I enjoy what I'm doing. And well, the money comes with it, but it's not that special.
so it's just
I
like
do it
they
because
just
I enjoy it.
so they're kind of just okay. I don't get it, but you go ahead and do it if
Yeah,
it makes you
basically.
happy. I mean, that's a lot better than being against you for it. At least they're understanding. So
I mean, they
it makes
still
it better than.
sometimes say like you should like go to the gym, do other fucking things instead of sit on your PC and play. Like, well, I kind of have to sometimes.
Yeah, maybe they think that you're just maybe because of your lazy personality, they think like, oh, it's just because he's a gamer, that's why he's lazy. But maybe they misunderstand you.
Maybe.
So, what do you think of the growth of esports overall?
I think it's insane. Like, if you compare esports from what it is now to like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, it's insane.
Do you think there's a lot of potential for events and growth in Netherlands?
In Netherlands itself, I don't know. I don't see it being a massive event like, let's say now the E-League major from CS. I don't see that being held in the Netherlands.
Interesting.
I just don't think the people would come to it.
You don't think it's like in a good sort of central location in Europe that people can easily get to?
I mean, if it would be like close to an airport, like so people can travel to it, then probably people would come. But I don't see a lot of Dutch people going to it.
So you just don't think the local fan base is quite there yet?
Nope.
Okay, so I asked this question to every Dutchman on this show. Just real quick. When you're at home, do you ride a bike everywhere?
Mostly, yeah.
So I think I've gotten 100% yes from this question from every Dutch person I've asked.
Like,
And it makes me feel bad every time because I don't actually know how to ride a bike.
You don't know how to ride a bike?
No, because I learned how to swim before I could walk, and I know how to drive, but I don't know how to ride a bike.
You just sit on it and you go forward.
I just like no, because I think like I always imagine if I were to ride a bike, I would sit on it, go forward, and then like fall to the side somehow.
I mean, they're like wheels for that. If you like kids.
Oh, you mean okay? So I could ride a bike with those training wheels, but that's about it. So like it would be a bit weird to see a 21-year-old guy with training wheels on his bike going around town like, hey, what's up? I never learned how to take these off.
What the fuck? I don't know. It's like everyone in the Netherlands has a bike, basically.
It's just like unfathomable to you that someone couldn't know how to ride a bike, right? Do you just are you all taught to ride a bike from a young age before you can walk, or as soon as you're born, you're just sat on a bike? And it's
Probably.
like cycle home from the hospital.
It's like you basically just ride a bike as soon as you're like 2 or 3 years old.
I've never had the chance to learn, so I mean, to be fair, I don't actually need to learn how to ride a bike because in the UK you can get anywhere with public transport.
Yeah.
If anything, riding a bike is kind of a nuisance in this country because, like, when I'm driving, I always have to check my left shoulder because you never know who's gonna be cycling, and I always think like, fuck these cyclists. I wouldn't have to check that mirror if there weren't any cyclists on the road. So
I got
maybe.
your first. I got your first bike link, by the way, in the talk show channel.
Oh yeah,
There you go. We just practice on that.
mine was a bit cooler than that. It had like lightning stickers and stuff on it.
Easy.
It had like graffiti and stuff all over. I don't know. It's really cool, but I don't know where it's gone now. Probably in the trash somewhere. So with your favorite game being Quake, and you've played quite a lot of shooters, CS:GO, Overwatch, Battlefield. What is it about Paladins that interests you so much to go pro in it? Like, what is it that makes this game unique for you?
The draft system
Interesting.
and the cards. Like basically every champion has 4 legendary cards and like 12 normal cards, and you pick 1 legendary and 5 normal cards. That basically decides your character. If you, let's say, you want to play aggressive, defensive, or utility.
So of all things, it's actually the strategic aspect of the game and
Yeah.
the sort of the choices that you make before the game that really come into it.
Yeah, I think that's more interesting about the game. Like it's still a shooter, but it has so many like strategical things behind it that I think what really makes the game interesting.
Oh, our resident memer Matt Scott has posted a picture in the talk show channel.
Easy.
It's technically tradition for my guest to upload a selfie in the chat so that he can make memes like this for you. I mean, you don't have to, but
Selfie.
do you not take many photos? You're not narcissistic like that?
Nope. I have to look back.
To be fair, I don't either. But Matt Scott, he's the creative one. He needs this to happen. He has the mad Photoshop skills. And while you're thinking about that, so tell me about. So it's the draft system and the cards, right? So do you think it's the aspect of being rewarded and being able to make like think about the game and then have that put into it, which also helps like I don't know your enjoyment and whatnot.
Sorry?
So you've got like the draft system and you've got the card system. So you get to plan quite a lot before the game and you get to, think about it sort of in preparation, which a lot of shooters I've realized now, looking at these names, you don't actually get that. So is that the unique element that sort of draws you to the game?
Yeah, it's something new. Like you have to think about what type of draft do you want, what type of composition do you want to run. And that's what I really like about Paladins. Like something more as just a shooter.
Do you think it's also the case that that's also what's one of the most unique aspects of the game itself for the viewers as well? Being able to sit through the draft experience and being like, okay, he's going to play that. What about this? And
Yeah,
that's
I
not
think
something.
it is something completely different compared to any other game. Even like people say Paladins and Overwatch are like copies-ish, but if you play both games, they're like feel completely different. Because in Overwatch you basically just have 6-on-6, you build ults, you go in, and on Paladins you have a whole draft phase where you like try to get the comp you want and try to counter the comp the enemy team want. And after that you just go like just do your plan what you want to do.
And it's also quite organized as well because you have your draft, so you know what everyone's playing, you know what they're going to try and do, kind of, and you kind of have this idea of what's going to be going on, which lets you sort of focus on your game and what's going to happen. Whereas in Overwatch, it seems a bit more of a mess because anyone can play anything, and it's a lot of things going on, and it's quite exhausting, maybe.
Yeah, I don't like the Overwatch League. I not really enjoying watching it because you just see a Tracer fighting a Tracer. Like so dumb. I just don't enjoy watching that. It's just too messy.
So you were actually on a smaller team, I think it was, before you joined Fnatic and Paladins. Do you
Yeah.
notice a difference playing for a smaller organization and a larger organization?
We were like before Paladins, we were never in an organization. We always were like our own like 5 players because we had like some office, but nothing was really that interesting. But we definitely can feel the difference between like just playing as like us 5 and now playing with an organization behind us like as Fnatic.
What are the main or like major differences that you've noticed when right from playing on your own to playing with Fnatic? Like, is it carry on the coach or is it
It's
the
the fact that we can bootcamp and we have support from like anywhere where you can think of, like for traveling to uh, let's say we needed a new headset because one of our headsets broken, like that kind of stuff. And as well, like Carrion is helping us out a lot in like every sense you can think of. Like even on Lens, it's so good to have him with us because if we like tilt or get angry at each other because someone like did something stupid, he just tells us like, okay, shut the fuck up. This is this and this and this is what you guys should do, and we just respect him and listen to him.
fair enough? That sounds like it sounds like he's a dad kind of the team.
Sometimes, yeah, he's just looking
What's the,
after us. It's
what's
really
the
good.
what's the worst thing you've asked him to do, or like the most difficult thing you've seen him had to deal with?
I don't know. Ask him if he wanted to bring me some food.
You just asked him to be a delivery man.
I don't know. I think that's the worst. Like if we
Carry
could
on,
get a drink or something,
get me a sandwich.
something like that. I think. I mean, I don't know. We were doing something and then we asked him. I don't know. I felt like pretty bad.
Carry on. You can borrow my bike with the training wheels. I was gonna give it to Loki.
Easy.
Go ahead down the road. So I wanted to talk about the World Championships actually because that happened earlier this month.
Yeah.
That was actually the first time I even watched Paladins professionally. So you lost to G2 initially 3-1 in the series, which put you in the losers bracket. What was going through your heads at that moment that it happened? Like, what went wrong, and what were you thinking going into the losers bracket?
I don't know. Like 10 minutes. Like that day we played G2. I was super ill. Like 10 minutes before we played that game, I went to the toilet and puked. So I was feeling really bad playing that game. Like I don't think we should ever lost that game. I think my team played that game basically 4-on-5. Like I
Right.
had like close to no impact compared to what they usually have.
Do you think it was Carry On giving you the wrong food? Like he just like
No.
you sent him off to get you some food, and he's just like spatting it or something. Just like fuck this dude. And
And
then
we all went for some food, and I just got sick from it because there was some chicken. Like
oh
the whole
geez, that's the worst.
yeah.
Where did you go?
We went to the support. It feels bad.
Wow. So you that game was kind of a write off for you. So you kind of thought like it's not
Yeah.
our fault that we lost. So you
I felt bad for the team because I felt it was my fault that we lost.
did you think that they blamed you at all, or was it more that
No.
you blamed yourself, if anything?
Like they even said, if you can't play, we just play with Carry On. And I said,
Right.
no, I want to play because Carry On hardly plays the game, and it just probably makes it worse. But even with me playing, like I was not playing well.
Now you went on to pulling off a miracle run. This is when I actually tuned in. So I started watching near the end of the China Dream series.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about like because I remember you had to play what was it, two best of sevens that day, wasn't it?
We played the China Dream team, and then
G2
it
right
was a best of
afterwards.
5 and G2 right after, 2 best of 5s. And then we had
Right.
like a small break, and then we played a best of 7 against NIP.
Right, yeah. I remember now. So what was it like? So you knew that you had to potentially play 3 matches. How do you prepare mentally for that?
You just take one by one. Like
So you,
I literally just said, okay, just take game by game. We can still get to the final. We can still win it all if we just take game by game.
so China Dream, did you know much about them going in? Did you think, how confident were you against them?
I mean, like in Valencia, we lost to the QG team, what basically is 2 members of the China Dream team. But about this China Dream team is they had visa issues, so they mixed the 2 best teams together into the China Dream team. So we knew they were a mix, but that's like basically all we knew about them. We had no clue what they liked, what they would like to do, what if they play all champions, if what they would ban or what they would do.
So in some ways they were kind of the most dangerous team at the time because it was completely unpredictable.
Yeah, we had no clue what they would do.
And it was like and like you were saying, preparation comes a huge part of this. So you were almost handicapped going in.
Yeah, you just go in with like your own game plan and you just stick to it. At least for the first game, and then you just adjust on the fly.
And then you went against G2, and bearing in mind that you lost beforehand, so do you think like, okay, the last match we can let them have that because you were sick, obviously. So how confident were you going into that game?
I don't know. I never before that G2 when we lost when I was super sick. I never lost to any NA team in any game. So I was like telling them, okay, if we just play normal, I'm back now. We can easily win this. Even like when we scrim them, when we have like 150 ping and they have like 50 or whatever they have in NA, like we hardly lose to them even in scrims.
And I think you kind of styled on them that series because apart from maybe one game, they didn't really look like they were anything at all. I don't even think they turned up that game.
Yeah, they had one map where they used like a Makoa with the half shell. So he basically places a shield over himself and over his team, and then use a totem with a healing totem with cleanses CC and everything, and they place the totem inside the shield. That's the only map we lost against them, at least that time.
And I remember even after the game, there's that I don't know his name, but he looks like a frog. He plays for G2. He didn't shake your hand or anything. So did it feel extra satisfying for you knowing that like this dude was so salty?
I mean, he was even salty after the games because he said, "Okay, you guys just saw the warm up. That's why you win."
Oh yeah. I remember that tweet actually because this guy in the chat, Matt Scott, he found that tweet. Yeah. I think it was after the finals when you lost. He tweeted that out, saying like, "Oh, it's almost as if it's harder to play without a warm up." It's like, bro, they played a best of 5. Like, it's not like a casual warm up, you know?
Yeah, he tweeted it after the game they lost, or when they lost against us, and he tweeted something after the final. He's just a super salty guy.
But like, I think that must surely have, that must not phase you at all, right? It must be, if anything, I take it as a compliment. Like, I played so well that this dude is completely salty about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too bothered about it. Like, if he wants to be salty, let him be salty.
Yeah, I think like imagine I just couldn't get it because imagine being so bitter about losing that you have to insult the team that beat you, who lost in the finals. Like, I mean, how pathetic do you need to be about it? You know?
Yeah, I just think like if you want to be so sad and just fucking don't like accept that you just lost to a team who just played better, then just go salty on Twitter. Let it all out.
And I don't even think the warm up came into it really because they just look shit in general. If I can say that, I mean,
but I personally feel like they could like prepare for us, like, and they had things against us if they wanted to do, but they just couldn't pull it off. When we had like no preparation for them, because all our preparation kind of went like was researching China when we couldn't hardly find anything for them.
So they had all they had all the cards, right? They got to watch how you played in the last game. They had your number in the game before that. So, if anything, they had an equal advantage to you going into that game.
They literally had like, we had nothing on them. We just like said the same thing. Okay, just play our game and that's it. Well, they knew our maps, what we like. They knew our drafts, what we like, and that's it. Like all we had is like the day before when my team played 4-on-5 against them. That's all what we had against them. It's like there is no equal footing. It's like you basically have a better position going into the series as us because we played.
And the worst part is that even after that game, you had to play another one.
Yep. We have to play another one where we still don't have anything for NIP.
So at that point, when do you start to feel tired? Like, because you played 2 series now. You know, you've beaten them both. Adrenaline's high, but you have to calm down because there's that downtime in between the games and everything. Like, where do you start to feel like, oh, geez, I just need like I need to eat something. I need to like chill for a second.
I started to get tired like after the game of G2, personal. Like, cause you like sit down, all your adrenaline goes out of your body, so like your sugar level goes low, and then you don't want to build your sugar level up really that much before you go into the game, because if you do, then you will just be super tired. So just basically, I told just don't eat too much sugars, and then like have some snacks before you play the new game.
Was Carrion like really careful about what you were eating? Like, no chicken, no chicken.
No, I mean, I didn't eat much. Like, I had basically crackers with nothing on it. So it's like to play it safe.
You didn't bring a stroopwafel with you or anything?
Nope. I just played it safe. I don't want to get sick or anything, so I just played it safe for like 2 days.
I don't blame you at all. So you go into the series against NIP, and I think it was much closer than the other two, if I remember correctly.
4-1?
I remember like my heart being in my mouth at times because it's just like, what is going on? This is insane. But I think every player on our team did really well throughout the day, if anything, because I know Fisher had his games, you had your games, Theo, Bugsy, and even Cybate as well. Like it seemed like you could take the whole thing.
Like everyone played super well that day. We like all had good communications and we just followed up on each other really well. It's like that day literally clicked for us.
And you look like a championship-winning team that day. I thought, you know what, this is a shoe-in for tomorrow because if you play like this, no one can stop you.
Yep. And then the next day happened, and we
the next day happened. I was like,
shit.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, next day they're gonna shit on Navi. I don't know who these guys are, but like, we got this easy, and then you guys got destroyed a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's like some of the players are really inexperienced on LAN. Like this is their first like big LAN when they play on the stage, so I think the nerves hit them.
Right. So I think so. It's more like we were kind of thrown off during the game that we couldn't really settle in and play.
Yeah, like we couldn't like. Some people on the team were not comfortable like drafting certain things for them. Like I said, okay, play this, and they said like, nah, prefer not. Like just give me something where he's comfortable on. What's not the best for the team composition.
And it seemed like Cybate's ruckus was quite important for the team the day before, and
Navi just shut it down.
Yeah, they had an answer for it. So did you guys expect them to have an answer for it, or did you just sort of feel like as soon as they figured it out, you had no fallback?
We were close to like when they figured that out, we had close to no fallback because I wanted to put them something else, but he wasn't comfortable on it. So we kind of were forced in some situations in our picks.
So it was just kind of like, oh shit, one of our like key picks isn't working, and you know we don't really have anything to fall back on, even if we have something planned. So it was kind of a mess, really.
The final was like a mess because like you need people to be confident, especially like if you want to put him like on, let's say on an Androxus, what's like a low HP character, and like he needs to go for the flank plays. But if he's not comfortable going for the flank plays, then he will basically don't do anything. That's why we drafted a lot of Ruckus.
So
Same thing with like other tanks.
in your mind, it was more of a case that you needed to maybe take more risks or play a bit more aggressive at times, or just change up the strategy a little bit, just so that you could maybe gamble a little bit, like take those chances while you can, rather than
I
playing.
think we should have just like went for it. Like even if he's not comfortable in it, like one thing is obviously not working, so we just should do something else. Even if someone is not comfortable on it, he maybe is not comfortable at the start on it, but then maybe he gets like one playoff or we do one good thing and he's like getting the momentum with him, and then we can just snowball from it.
At one point, did you feel like the series might slip away from you? Like, what point do you think like, okay, this is going to be much harder than I thought, or like we may actually lose this? Actually,
I think after the second map, but I think the second map we threw away.
Yeah, because I remember the second map, it was very, very close, and I think if anything, we should have had that one, but we didn't close it.
I think the second and the third map we threw away. Like at least Stonekeep and Frockow. I'm not sure if it was the second and third, but two maps we should have won, I think, if we just played normal and played it out properly. We just didn't and just gave them 3 points.
And now things are turning out like what's happening in FaZe versus Cloud9 right now. They're just getting destroyed by Skadoodle.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, speaking of the finals, with you and the team, do you think that if you were to make another finals, like, it would be the same story? Or do you think you'd be much more ready this time?
We would be much more ready.
So
like the same thing is not gonna happen. Like that, people will be uncomfortable or something.
So, if anything, it kind of needed to happen for you to grow as a team, because you can't really teach that, right?
I think I think it's an annoying but hard learning lesson. Like especially because some of my teammates are like it's their first LAN. Like for Fishico, it was like his first big LAN where like people in the crowd and people cheering and stuff. So
and
like
I remember Bugsy as well. I don't think he could make it the last one because of visa issues, right?
yeah, Buxy's like last time in as well the HRX he wasn't there, and we had one stand in. Unbelievable was this time on Navi, so at least he got the win.
So do you think like Carrion will play a big factor as well, sort of saying, hey, you guys, this is where you went wrong? Did you need him to come in and say this is where you went wrong, or did you kind of know by the end of the series, like, this is what happened, this is where we fell apart?
I think most of us know, but it's always good like having someone from the outside, like having it to confirm to the rest.
So it's kind of like there was that self-realization, but also having that outside perspective just to be sure.
Yeah. Like you've like basically know why stuff went wrong, but then at least if someone who is like on your side and who you respect a lot, then if he tells you the same thing what you're thinking, it's basically just confirms like why stuff went wrong.
So do you think that your aim's now to win this time rather than just be a finalist? Is that your goal?
I'm not coming in second place again. Fuck that.
Right. I mean, like I think that's the mentality you have to have. Like, you can't settle for second best at any point. You just got to keep going,
Yeah, I don't want to become second anytime anymore. Like becoming second is just the worst feeling ever.
And like, the best part is that that you can do it. It's not like you're dreaming. You could see, like, the day before you had the quality there. You were unstoppable that day. So it's just a case of just getting there again and showing everyone that you can do it, right?
Yep. It's like the grind just starts from zero again. New patch, new day, new tournaments coming up. Just like feels bad to have a second place, but you gotta live with it and just win the rest.
So if you could make high res add anything to the game, what would you like to see them add?
game optimization. That's a good stable FPS.
Right. So you think that it's do you think that it harms your practice and your play because of that, the poor
Yeah, 'cause
optimization?
let's say like Overwatch is way more cleaner and smoother. Even the game is like way more detailed. Like why cannot Hi-Res not do that? Like the game looks way more like just say shittier compared to Overwatch.
So there's no excuse in your mind that
Yeah,
it shouldn't run as
it
smoothly
should just
as
be
Overwatch.
optimized.
Okay. And what do you think makes a good player in Paladins?
A good player, game sense mostly. Game sense knowledge.
So do you think it's not so much a game where you've got sick aim and you
No,
can outshoot someone. It's all about like thinking and more sort of
like you can
tactical.
get really far with just aim, but you cannot win a LAN tournament if you just have aim. You need the game sense will win over the aim in a LAN final.
Is that what advice you'd have for competitive players? Like brain first, then aim.
I mean, if you don't have the aim, you will not get there.
So it's kind of like a balance, but
Yeah, you need a balance, but in the end, if you play like on the highest level, basically everyone has at least a decent to good aim. So then it comes down who has the better game sense.
now how do you feel about the current state of the game overall? Like the like heroes that are available, like or the ones that are meta right now. What do you think about it in general?
I think like after 64 was like a new patch what was released after HRX when the game changed quite a lot. 64 was kind of meh. Like now 65 is live. I think 65 is really good. Like the game is fairly balanced. Like this, just certain heroes like the Cassie with what's it called? Just breathe. She can just deal 1000 damage over range. That's just too much. That's just straight out broken. So if they just adjust like some just OP things, just nerf them down, I think the game is really balanced and like almost every champion can work actually, what I think is really good.
Is there any champion in particular that's your favorite that you like to play the most?
I like to play Maldamba and Grok.
Uh-huh. What is it about those champions specifically that you like so much?
As Maldamba, you basically just can heal, outplay you with an ultimate, but where you can engage with, and you can like, if you get engaged on, you can just counter engage them with your ult. And as
My
well, like
favorite, see, my favorite would be the Bomb King because watching Fishiko play that thing was just like insane.
yeah, Fish Pumpkin is pretty sick.
And I don't remember her name, but the sniper that Bugsy played as well.
Kinessa.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Watching him like jump around and headshotting everyone on G2, that was pretty cool. I'll never forget that because I remember that dude that tweeted out that salty tweet. His face on the cam, like when he was getting shot in the face, it was just like beautiful. He wasn't kissing at the camera then.
Yeah, I mean he won one time against us on LAN.
Well, I think that's the only thing that he'll be winning anytime soon, to be honest.
I mean,
So,
somehow they're like one of the best teams in NA though.
I mean, they didn't look it when you played against them. I don't. I mean, you probably would have had a better. You'd had a better like contest against me if I just started playing. I'll install the game now and give you a harder time, to be honest. So, how do you feel about the current format, the competitive format? Like, what does it feel like to play a best of 7? Because I know it's not very common in esports to play that many series.
I think like having the day where we had our comeback run is just too long. Too many games. Like 2 best of 5s are okay-ish if they're not after one of each other. Like having a break in between would be really nice. Like especially if you get like 2 best of 5s and then a best of 7s, it's just straight up too much, I think.
So you just, and I think it was pretty much a shambles, like expecting you to play so many games in a row.
Mm-hmm. It's
I've
just too
never
much.
I've never seen anything like that in my life. Who was the guy that was rallying the team throughout that? Like, who was the one that was saying, to keep focused or to, you know, to make sure that everyone's taking it one at a time and everything? Who was the one that was rallying the team?
At the start, like I was doing it, I tried to do it as well in the game, but it's at some point it's just hard to do. Like because you have to focus yourself as well. But at some point, I think people realize, especially like after our win against China, and then we were like 2 maps up against G2. Like people just knew if we just like play it out, we got this. And against NIP, it was just like, okay, like we play first their map. They're probably gonna win their map because they're fucking super insane on their map. But for the rest, they're okay. Like on any other map apart from their home map, they're just not as good.
Do you think that there was any element of like momentum for that comeback? Like, do you think like, okay, we've beaten them, we've beaten G2, China Dream, going into NIP, like we've surely got this?
It does. You get the momentum back as soon as you win one map again.
So it's not like as you enter the game, but more about
when you win the game.
Right. So do you think like all it took for you in each of those games was getting that one win and saying, okay, we've got this?
Yes, as soon as you get like one win or even like one clean push, like you can just snowball super hard from the momentum you have.
So how do you generally prepare for a best of 7 then? Because I know you say take it one at a time during the games, but like at some point it has to be quite, draining to go through it, like, because I know that in general in Paladins the game moves really, really quickly as well. It's quite fast paced and you have to constantly be thinking. So like to play at a best of 7, is there any sort of like habits that you go through to get you through it?
Do
you have any like? Do you, I don't know, meditate in between rounds or something? Like any?
No, like in between rounds, you basically just talk for what you're gonna do, the round, what you do next. There's nothing really to it apart from like maybe in between rounds, like have fun together, like talk, have a laugh, like chill. Like don't just keep on like too much focus because you will focus too much and it takes just all your energy out. Like just make sure you enjoy what you're doing even when you're playing. Because if you enjoy what you're doing, it takes less energy, I always think. If you have fun with it.
Now, speaking of energy, most people consider that esports careers kind of are over when you're about 22 to 23 years old. So do you think that you're reaching that peak of your career, or do you think you could go on for a long time? Sorry.
And like I'm 25 now, so I think I'm pretty old, but I don't know, I don't feel like I have to stop anytime soon though.
How long do you think you want to play professionally for?
Till I don't enjoy it anymore.
So you're just going as long as you can, really?
Yeah, like till I don't, like, if I literally get slaughtered every single time in the groups or something, like I don't want to go through that. Like I basically want to play it till I don't enjoy doing it anymore.
So how often do you practice every day to make sure that doesn't happen? Like how long do you think? Sorry,
as a team.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So as a team, we basically practice at least 3 to 4 hours. Like right now, because we're like kind of in off season, and like outside of that, I still play like 3 hours outside of it. So like that's basically already 7 to 8 hours I play daily.
Do you think a lack of practice is why so many pros don't make it to your age at about 25?
Yeah, because you have to put in a lot of time, and like if you're younger, it's a lot easier to give up the time. Because when you get older, you have like more things you want to do in your life.
There's quite an interesting take on it, because some people think it's down to slowing your reflexes, slowing, or maybe your hand-eye coordination not being the same as it was. But you seem to think it's more about lifestyle. Maybe someone wants to settle down a little bit more, like
Yeah, I think it's like just when you get older, you want to settle down, do other things. You will slow down a little bit, but I don't think you will feel that much till you're like 28, 30. If you're like 30 or something, then I think you can feel it, but right now I just don't feel a difference. Well, I mean, I feel a difference compared to when I was 16, but that's it. Like at 16, you have more aim, and now at 25, you have just more game knowledge, more game sense.
So, what is your dream job after being a Paladins pro? Do you want to like make enough money of Paladins to retire and live like a rich man in a mansion, or do you want to like play another game professionally, or do you have other dreams that you want to pursue?
I don't think I will make enough money like living the fucking rich life from Paladins.
You don't think you'll have like a diamond-studded bike just going around Netherlands like, yeah, I was a pro gamer and this is what I got. Like, fuck you guys, you didn't believe in me.
I don't think Paladin is gonna fucking pay that. But I don't know, like my family have a shop. I will probably take over the shop when I'm retired from gaming.
Oh, what kind of shop do they have?
They have it's called a Primera in Dutch. They basically sell in the summer. They have ice cream. They have cards for people like birthdays. They have as well cards from other shops if you wanna give like a birthday presents. They have cigarettes, cigars, books.
So just a general store, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you want to do, or is it something that you feel like you have to do?
I don't mind doing it. I don't feel I have to. But I don't know, like at the moment I just enjoy playing games more. Like I sometimes even help out now, like when I don't have to play and they ask me. So I don't know. Like I don't mind doing it.
So do you think is there something like, was there anything else that you might want to do before you take over the store? Did you ever want to maybe be a painter or something, or
Now maybe travel a little bit.
any destinations that you had in mind to travel to?
Not really, because I always wanted to go to America, but now I've been to America for Paladins a couple of times, and even for Fnatic to Vegas to do one event. And like America's kinda shitty.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit overrated.
What towns did you go to? What states did you go to?
Only been to Atlanta and Vegas though.
You went to Vegas. You dropped your big Fnatic money stacks on the family tables and
It
just
was
like.
just too fucking expensive.
Oh right, okay,
Like
interesting.
everything in Vegas costs like a fucking $1 billion. It's unreal.
So when you retire from playing Paladins, and when you retire from owning the store, you're just going to come back to Vegas and be like, this ain't so expensive after all.
Maybe, I don't know. It is fucking expensive. I mean, it's a fun town, but it's not my type of town where I would like to live in or hang out.
What's your kind of town, man? Describe it to me. Would it be like a beach or
I don't know. I like the beach, but there needs to be like something after the beach as well, where you like maybe a restaurant or something where you just have nice food, some sushi place.
but no chicken, right? Because we don't want
No
you getting.
chicken. That's why we're getting sushi. No
Do
chicken.
do you ever get put off seeing chicken from now on? Just do you get suspicious?
Nah, like I had it in Atlanta, in Vegas. I didn't eat chicken, but now I'm like, it's chicken. Like, fuck it. It's too good to not eat anymore.
So Matt Scott's prepared a picture for you in talk show chat. Wanna check it out?
Easy ice cream seller.
So, what would be your favorite destination that you've been to so far that you've traveled to?
As a land, probably Sweden, DreamHack.
Is it nice up in Sweden?
Yeah, like it's just the event. It was really good. Like everything in Sweden was just felt super good.
Even
Like
the weather
even,
felt super good.
I mean, it was kind of the same as Netherlands. So it wasn't too bad.
What did you think of? I think you've been to London, right? What did you think of
Yeah.
London?
I think it was freezing.
Oh yeah, well that comes with the territory. But what did you think of the city?
It's just the same as Vegas. I think it's just too much.
Wait, you think it's the same as Vegas? In what way?
Okay, no, it's just like there's too much stuff.
Too much stuff.
There's like
Okay.
if you go out, there is everywhere people. Like as well as you go to Amsterdam, there's people everywhere. Like there's no place to chill where there's like nobody. There's always people around everywhere.
So you think about so you prefer maybe smaller places or just more
Yeah.
quiet places? Yeah, I guess London wouldn't be for you. But London's not for the uncivilized bike riders, you know.
I know there's like 0 bikes in London as well. Like if you want to
No,
take a bike,
there are bikes, you know. They're Boris bikes. You can pay to use these bikes. Basically,
yeah.
they have them at these little docks, and you take them out, and then you ride them off, and then you drop them off at another rack, basically.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Think I don't remember if I did see them.
I feel like no one likes London that's a pro player. It's really sad.
I'm sorry, it's just not my town. I mean, one of my teammates is from London though.
Yeah, I'm hoping like Fishika or Bugsy will back me up here and tell me how great the city is, because you know it's
I mean,
not nice
Fish
to
lives in
hear.
London.
Yeah, it's not nice to hear your hometown getting shit on by everyone that comes on the show. Like, hey, fuck this town. It's too cold, too much stuff. You know, too boring. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
it's too much. Outside of scrims and after scrims. So it
See,
was
I think
between Bugsy and Fish.
I think they're my favorites just because they're from here. I consider them from the UK. So, but your number one fan in this Discord couldn't make it to the show, which is unfortunate because I'm sure she would love to fangirl over you and whatnot. But
So who's my fangirl? Who I don't know about.
it's Alexia, the girl from Los Angeles. She works in, I think she works in Starbucks or something. She's studying.
Why she couldn't make it? I want a Starbucks. I love Starbucks.
Well, if you see her, she could probably make you one. I think she was meant to go to the Netherlands. You know, we're having a Discord get together for someone in the Netherlands called Ruben Engelbrecht something.
Sounds very Dutch.
Yeah,
Sounds very Dutch.
it's very Dutch. Yeah, actually, funny story about that guy. I can't go into the details, but this dude, Mr. Engelbrecht, Mr. Ruben, he's very famous on this Discord because one night he was telling us about this Dutch girl that he was madly in love with, and we were like, okay, well, just ask her out. And he's like, no, I can't ask her out because this, and this. So we basically like spend hours to make sure that he wins the heart of this Dutch girl who works at the sports club near Amsterdam. And, you know, we tell him everything that he needs to do. And then the day comes, next day, he hasn't done anything. So this is the guy that never asked out the girl. He
just
like, I think he's, it's worse than getting second place, you know, at a final. I think it's a worse feeling. Surely, just knowing that all your effort to helping this one person,
and then he doesn't do shit.
and then he doesn't do it. So if you ever see RME, what you should do is tag him and say, "Ask out that girl."
Ask out. Hashtag ask out.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let me tag him in this chat for you, and you can do the same. It'll be much better if it came from a pro player, I think, especially one from the Netherlands. Actually, another story that I have for you is another Dutch person in this Discord. He's actually a moderator.
Oof.
Now, this guy works on McDonald's, and he's obsessed with the Maestro burger.
Okay.
And
That's not even that good.
interesting. So you don't think it's that good? Long story short, this girl comes in and orders like, I think it was 100 chicken nuggets or something. And you know, he thought that the way to win this girl's heart was to offer her a load of free sauces, like sauce packets, because she wanted them. And I mean, obviously, you know what happens next. Like, no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah, fucking
So, I mean, even to this day, he's like, "What did I do wrong?" Like,
why would you want to give someone the fucking sauce?
I don't know. Like to this day, I don't even understand his logic with that sauce. Another funny story about this, the same guy. You can check this out in full detail on his talk show on our YouTube channel. But long story short, so we were in Berlin because we went to support the League of Legends team. You know, a lot of people from the Discord came and showed up, and he was one of them. We're going back to the hostel, and we're on the train, and his face, like, obviously, I don't know what it's like for you, but for most Dutch people, I think they're just uncomfortable with trains because, you know, they're not pedaling on a bike. So, so like, he was already a bit unsettled, you know, like not having a bike under his.
Something different, a bike, yeah.
Yeah.
Feeling uncomfortable.
So he was out of his comfort zone, and like, you know, the sweat going down his forehead and everything. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? He goes, I really need to take a shit. We were like an hour away from this hostel, and we get there, and like we let him go into we make him go into the lobby toilet because we're all sharing a room, so we don't want it to stink in our room. So he goes there. I swear to God, he doesn't come up for an hour.
What?
So to this day, we call it the Dutch heist. So if you ever see in this Discord us talking about the Dutch heist, that's what we mean.
Okay.
Have you ever pulled the Dutch heist?
Nope.
I mean, you puked in the bathroom, so maybe not the same thing.
I puked in the fucking sink of the bathroom. Public one.
Actually, here's a question for you. So let's say that you're a Dutch girl. Just pretend for a moment that you're a Dutch girl, right?
Okay.
What would you do if this guy came up to you and said, like, gave you a Maestro burger and said, "Here's some, I can throw in some free sauce if you go out with me." Like, what would you say to him?
Thanks for the free sauce, bye. Who gives a fuck about the sauce?
Beautiful. I think that's a better answer than I expected. I thought you were gonna slap him or something, but this is just way better. So let's talk about your teammates actually real quick, because I spoke a bit about the mentality and the sport that you have, and you watch them more than any other player. Like, do you want to say a few words about each of your teammates? Like, what are they like? You know, what do you think about them as people? You can be honest with me. You know, who's the guy that snores? Who's the guy that you know?
You ask and I'll tell you. I give you names. Okay?
Give me the names. Like, I'll give you a name straight up. This guy DNK Pope in the talk show chat, he snores like a motherfucker. So
yeah.
like,
so Buxy
I'll tell you too.
And Carry On snores.
My God.
The way how you fucking get rid of Buxy snore is just shout when you're sleeping or when you wake up from it, just like, Buxy, shut the fuck up, and then it's like, ugh, and then he stops snoring.
My God, I wish that worked for me, because when I tried to wake up this DNK Pope dude, I like slapped him in the face, and I was just like, dude, are you okay? You're dying. You're snoring. He's like, huh? He went back to sleep, and he started snoring again, just like normal, in like 2 seconds. What is so Carry On snores as well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he says it himself. I never shared a room with him really. So apart from one time in London, but he didn't snore back then. So I don't know. People just say he's snoring. I don't believe he's snoring till I heard it.
Maybe he wasn't actually sleeping. because he was trying to make you think that he didn't snore, so he just stayed up the whole night.
I mean, that's a possibility. I hope he doesn't do that, but that's a possibility.
I might be a bit creepy. Do you stay in the same room?
As him? All the
Yeah.
time? No.
Oh right,
We
okay.
usually just switch at the moment.
So what's Fishiko like?
He likes to watch YouTube and other things on his phone.
See, from what I've seen of him,
Like
from
in bed, he literally just watches video clips all night. On speaker. He doesn't even put in-ears in or anything, he just puts it on speaker.
okay, that's kind of weird. That would be kind of annoying after a while, because if you're trying to like sleep or something.
Yep, that's why he just put the headset on and like tell him to shut the fuck up and try to sleep.
I mean, from what I've seen of him, from the very few times that he's talked on this Discord, he seems like a really strange dude. Because like I think the first time I seen him message, he was like, "You Bum King is nice, no?" or something. I'm like, what?
He has a weird sense of humor if you don't know him.
Oh, okay. Well, try explain it to me.
How do I explain fish humor? I mean, if you don't know him, you think he's super weird on the way he talks about certain things. But then if you talk to him, he will like explain it, like, and then you just get his humor, and then because you know how he thinks, you know what he means the next time.
So he's the kind of person that you need to get to know before you can understand his humor, really.
Yeah.
If you talk to him, you still think he's weird. Okay, what's Theo like?
Theo is a little bit of like as Dutch guys say it is a mooi boy. He tries to flex too much.
Okay.
He's trying to flex too much for the camera and shit.
Okay. Does he ever try that? Does he ever like practice in the mirror at the gaming house?
I mean, he fucking put up a picture on his Twitter. I'm gonna try to find it for you.
Okay.
It's like why do you do this to yourself?
I mean, it could be worse, right? He could just go around handing people source packets and hoping for the best. So, does he do that all the time, or just for the cameras? Is he a different person off camera?
He's kind of. I think he's a chill guy. Apart from he's just flexing too much.
Does it work on you? Do you see his muscles and think like, wow?
No, I think like why would you do this? Like,
okay, so you don't even think it doesn't come off well for you.
I just think it's weird.
What about Cybate? What's he like?
He doesn't talk much and he's shy.
So he's the shy one.
And he I don't know, like he doesn't talk much or says much, so it's hard to say. Okay, yeah, I got it.
So,
like, why would you do this? Like, why? Just don't bother. Like,
he's even done it at the angle as well. He's got the angle photo in. He's got the hand in the pocket as well.
It's like, why would you do it?
He's trying to play it all casual and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you could do? You could try and take the same photo and like see if you can pull it off and send it to him and say like, "How's my skills?"
I could, but
how are my move voice skills?
Yeah, I should, but I don't want to make him feel embarrassed, you know.
All right, because
he's been practicing this stance, so yeah.
You don't want to take away the one thing he has in his life.
Exactly. Just let the man be.
So apart from snoring, what's Bugsy like?
He tries to make fucking shitty jokes all the time about everything.
So he's the kind of person that tell you terrible puns and stuff.
Yep. He tries to make puns about everything. Sometimes they're
God.
really good, and sometimes they're really fucking bad.
Does he ever do it when you're playing, like when you're in game?
Yeah. At least when we're scrimming, he does it sometimes. And sometimes then literally we just tell him, Buxy, shut up. It's like, why, was it bad? And it's like, yeah. And then he just like goes quiet.
Poor guy, he feels bullied.
And then till he has the next one, and then it's funny again, and then he's happy.
So who would you say is the funniest on the team out of Bugsy and Fishiko?
Well, then there's only Teal and Saib left, so then it must be Teal. No, I think like the funniest, I don't know. Who would be the funniest? Carry on is here. Carry on can answer this. He's in the chat. Oh, I'm the funniest. Easy.
Oh wow.
I
So
mean,
you
I
get
can't call it about myself that I'm funny, but others
yeah,
can.
I don't think that works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want to be a bit modest, you know. You want to show that you're humble in front of your viewers.
You don't say this about yourself.
So what's Carrion like? You can tell me tell me all about him. Like, is he a terrible person that doesn't do anything for you, or is he really okay?
He's the team that he takes care of us.
He
If
even brings
something's
me.
missing or something is wrong, we can tell him, and he will fix it. At least
He
he's
even
trying.
brings his food when you ask him to.
Yeah, I mean, Buxy don't listen to it, but at least Carrion's try to stop his puns.
So, what kind of food do you ask Carrion to bring you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Is he like?
It probably was just a sandwich when we were doing some stuff. Or a drink. I don't know.
So he's like, bitch, get me a sandwich or something?
I mean, I ask my teammates as well if I'm doing something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Do they ever get you a sandwich if you ask them?
I mean, bring me drinks at least.
Okay.
They never
So
did food yet.
not yet.
Yeah, yet.
Is that the next stage for your team development? Do you ever say like, this is for team synergy, you know?
I
This
mean,
is
I
what.
get them to order. I get them to order food for me at least.
Okay, that's fair enough. Because it's like you could just say you could hold it over their heads, you know, the players that played in the LAN for the first time. You could be all cocky, like, you know, this is why we lost the finals because
You
got
didn't bring me
the
food, bitch.
This is your training. This will take you to the next level, you know.
I mean, that's what I always do to Fish when we're in London. I just get them to order food. Like, Fish, you're from here. You know what you're doing. Order me food. It's like, okay, what do you want?
What kind of okay? So apart from chicken, what is your favorite then?
Favorite clan? Or what?
Favorite food?
Oh, favorite food? Meat.
Just meat in general?
Yeah. I love some meat. Some good steaks.
Steaks? That's pretty expensive cut. Like, I thought you went rich. I thought you didn't have that kind of money.
You don't eat it often, you just eat it sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
once in a year, you know?
once in a year. Jesus.
Nah, maybe like, I don't know. I try like once, 2 weeks or something, at least.
Did you ever think when you were in Vegas, like, and you went to the casino and whatnot, like, if you win it big, you could retire here, and then just go back to your parents and say, "Look, mom,
I
won
did
this.
it. I won the millions.
I made it in gaming."
I would still be playing games just because I enjoy it. But life would
But
be...
did you ever have that plan in mind, or did you think like, nah, Vegas is too boring for me?
Nah, I just don't think I don't think I will ever fucking be a millionaire from gambling. The chance is just too small.
Do you think any of your teammates would have tried for it?
I mean, I tried some money, but not much, because the chance that you win is just too small. But no, I don't think any one of my teammates are like, oh, if I put in 1 million, I will win 2 million. None of my teammates are like that.
Oh, okay, so none of them are like gamblers or anything.
Nah.
So I think I think I've gone through most of the questions that I wanted to ask you. But do you have any funny stories from LANs or anything?
Funny stories from Lens.
Anyone offering sauce packets? Karen asking to make you spaghetti or something? I don't know.
What is the funny story at Len? I don't. People going to a sauna at like 3 o'clock and telling fucking weird stuff.
Wait, what? What am
I mean, I didn't go to the sauna because I was like that.
I mean, I could understand if you went to the sauna if like Bugsy was snoring, but
Nah, like
why would you go at 3 in the morning?
because we went like to some bar or whatever, and then we got back to the hotel and then like, oh, let's go to the sauna, and then people went to the sauna, and then like the next day I woke up at the breakfast and like they all fucking said apparently weird shit to each other. Like, why would you do this?
Do you ever think like it sounds like everyone on the team has something a bit weird about them? Do you ever think like why the fuck am I here sometimes? Like do you ever feel like the only normal one on the team?
No, because I don't think I'm normal.
Okay.
I just like to play games, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone has some weird things in them.
True. And when you're not practicing for games or playing games, what's your favorite thing to do? I know you talked about watching Game of Thrones, of course. And like
If I'm not watching or playing.
Yep.
Doing things with my girlfriend. Going to restaurants.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say riding around with your bike, and I was like, don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, going around on the bike, getting ice cream with my girlfriend. Easy.
The dream life. So, I actually saw you watching the CS:GO quarterfinals between Fnatic and SK. Did you have any thoughts about that match?
They could have won 2-0 if they played it a little bit different.
What do you think they should have done differently?
Like, I don't know, like watching it's always easy to say if they had like some different rotations they could have won, but it's always like if you play it's a lot harder than seeing.
Right, so it's a bit difficult to sort of say like without hindsight what they could have done.
Yeah, like you don't know their comms, you don't know what info they have, so it's hard to say why they sometimes rotate or sometimes they don't rotate.
Ah, okay.
But I think if they would have won it, they had to win it 2-0 on the last map. They had no chance. But either way, I think still what they did against SK was basically like one of the best teams in CS. Even if they had a stand-in Phelps.
So you think it was a really respectable showing overall? And what are your thoughts on the finals right now? Like it's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm not watching it that much. Even the score is super close.
Do you think FaZe will take it? Do you think Cloud9's NA magic will shine through?
No, I think FaZe will take it. Nico is too good.
Do you ever think you could take these CS:GO pros if you were to try and play the game a little bit?
No, it would cost me years to get on their level.
Interesting. Well, what about Overwatch pros? Do you think maybe you could take them on?
If I had a game from day one, I would probably play that game, yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the whole beta key shenanigan.
Like if I was in the close beta, like the first wave in fights, then I would probably play the game. But later now, I just no.
So I think that's basically it for the show. Was there any messages that you wanted to send out to your fans or the folks listening?
Thank you all for coming by. It's more people than expected. Hope you all enjoyed.
So? I thought this was minimal turnout. Imagine what we would have without the major.
Probably some more. I mean, I can understand why people want to watch the CS final major.
I don't understand. I think this is much more entertaining. I mean, there's only so many times you can watch NA lose before before like getting bored. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on, Gerrah. I don't know if anyone else wants to, chime in with any last questions before we end the show.
Drive a bike to get frikandel speciaal. I mean, I could have done that too. That's pretty good. You ever had a frikandel speciaal? It's something Dutch food.
Okay.
If you ever get
I've
to the
never heard.
Netherlands, get a frikandel speciaal.
Okay, I've only heard about stroopwafel. That's pretty good.
Maybe you answered. What information do you give to your team on? But information like if they need to rotate, if they need to take control of a certain place, if I want them to push or hold, or if like I want them to contest point. Basically call most of the rotations and try to keep track of the ults from the other team, so you know what ults the other team has, especially at the start of the next round. That's the most important thing.
The other 50% is telling Bugsy to stop talking about his stupid puns, right?
Yeah. How do you eat a steak? Medium. Like, I guess most people. Good boy. Thanks,
What
man.
do you think of carry on spaghetti?
I never had carry on spaghetti.
Well, really? I thought he
Nope.
said he made it for you.
Nope.
Wow.
I guess next time, carry on. That's hot
That's the
exclusive.
hot exclusive. Jeez. Do you ever feel like Karen is cheating on you for the HOTS team sometimes?
I hope he has some fucking special exclusive, Paladin special exclusive as well. Otherwise, we need to talk. We need to
What
talk
did you
about things.
What did you have in mind? I think it should be seafood related because you have Fishiko on the team. So
I have fish on the team, but he hates fish.
wait, what?
I think he hates fish.
So why does he have the name Fishiko?
I don't know. It's something with his family.
Oh, okay. Maybe fishes run in his family or something.
Mhm.
Wait, I swear, like his
I know what Jan can make for his carry on. He can, cause he's German. He can get his currywurst.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. He can give us some real German food.
Okay, so wait, actually, I had this question. So, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie? Oh god. What's my favorite movie? I know. When I was young, I was like the Too Fast, Too Furious ones.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I like the Superman ones and Spider-Man ones.
So, like superhero films are kind of your thing as well.
Yeah, I mean I like it, but if it's my favorite, I don't know. I don't have really a favorite.
My co-host wants to know: do you drink, and if you do, what's your favorite drink? He means alcoholic, obviously. He's Irish, so he has to know.
I like vodka Red Bull. Oh, what else? Or Malibu Cola. Malibu Coke. Dr. Pepper? No, Dr. Pepper is bad. Have you tried Sambuca? Nope.
How many card decks do you have prepared in advance for competition? That's a good question.
Basically every slot, so like that's 5 decks for each champion you play.
Okay. How much does carry-on help with preparation for games, do you think?
For that type of things, not much.
Okay.
I mean, he's more like the team lead, so he takes care of other stuff, not really for anything what's to do with the game. I
You're
mean, he
being
helps
too
us
nice
out.
to him. I think you could be a bit meaner to him. You'd be like, oh, he needs to learn the game more. He needs to help us out.
I mean, he
He's
helps
not
us out
doing
on land
enough.
with drafts, but that's about it.
Does he ever get angry at you, do you think? Like, does he ever get... do you think he was going to bring the belt out in the finals when you were losing?
Maybe on some people, yeah. Not on me.
Okay. Because you're kind of the good player, right? You don't need the discipline.
I don't think he would do it to me. I think he would maybe do it on some other people. Yeah.
Which other people do you
I
think
don't want
he
to say
would?
names. I'm not saying names.
Okay, fair enough. If I had to guess, it'd be Theo
Possibility.
because he'd be too busy flexing at the other team to be focusing on his play.
I mean, maybe he's flexing to impress the other team. But if the other team is
He
looking at the
like
monitor,
stands up, looks for any girls in the crowd, and just like
hey,
does
you want a
that.
date tonight? Hey.
I mean, it's better than that dude that offered sauce, right?
I mean, yeah. You have a buggy, you want some extra sauce? And then a date tonight?
It's Bugsy because of puns. Come on, Will.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. He named them. He named and shamed. Poor Bugsy. I wonder if he would actually come up with any puns if he were on this talk show. What do you think? Is he that daring? Is he that creative, do you think?
I mean, maybe. Depends how he feels, I think.
So it's more like it comes to him based on his mood, right?
Yeah. And if he feels like comfortable doing it or not.
Okay, here's a question I have for you. So if I were to have maybe anyone from, so let's say, for example, tomorrow, I would have anyone from the Paladins team or Carry on this show. What recommendations would you give to me? Like, what kind of things should I be asking them?
About paladins or about general?
In general, or both.
What would you ask? What could you ask?
Are there any spicy questions out there that I'm not thinking of that they could be asked?
With who do you not want to room with? Maybe?
Okay. Who do you not want a room with?
I think you could ask that Carry On.
Okay.
I think that's a good question for Carry On.
Interesting. Okay. Who would you not want to share a room with? Presumably Bugsy and Carry On, right?
Because Bugsy fucking snores.
So Bugsy,
I don't want Carry On because they snore. I prefer not to share rooms with people who snore.
so presumably the other people on the team don't snore. Do you not know if they do or not?
Teal doesn't snore and Fish don't snore. That's all I know.
The Fish is up all night watching YouTube videos, so...
That's pretty annoying too, but at least I can put the headset on and just tell him to shut up.
So, your nightmare scenario would be that you're trapped in a room with Carry On and Bugsy and Fishiko when he has Wi-Fi. Because you'll never sleep. You'll just be up all night.
Yeah, I mean, I already shared one time a room with Carry On and Bugsy, but that was just Bugsy snoring.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you want to watch the finals, like some people in this chat. I don't want to keep you too long, so I don't even know who won the first game. Do you know?
Check for you.
I just looked.
16-14.
Phase 1. Okay. Just as you predicted. Are you the prophet now?
I think most people predicted that. So a lot of prophets these days.
You can take more profit. You can take more credit than that. You know. You can be like, yeah, no one else saw this coming except for me. You should listen to me more.
But that's not true.
Well, most things aren't true. I mean, the president of the United States takes credit for things that aren't true, but it doesn't stop him, right?
And then if he says things and don't come true, it's like, nah, never said it. That's not me.
Well, I'll let you cycle away now. So thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate you being here. It's really nice to have you. You've been a great guest. hilarious as well. And you've given us some insight, especially into the scene in Netherlands, which I didn't actually know much about. So if you've missed this episode or you want to check out more, it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel in the next few days. Otherwise, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.